So, Halloween is right around the corner, and I'm sure a lot of you are getting inspired to things by binge watching your favorite spooky shows and films. I personally cannot recommend Over the Garden Wall more. I recently watched that with friends, and
nice.
But for some of us who want a more interactive experience this season, I decided to make a video listing off some Halloween levels in video games. First, let's lay some ground rules. This video is not gonna list off just spooky levels in general, like Mario 64's Haunted Mansion. I'm primarily focusing on levels that are either based on Halloween, or Halloween just has to be taking place in the level. I would include Arkham Knight, but the entire game takes place on Halloween night, so I'm just gonna grab that and just... Also, side note, if the level has jack-o'-lanterns, then that's good enough for me to say that's a Halloween level. Alright, with that said, get your pumpkin spice lattes, light them pumpkin spice candles, and let's jump into some levels. Number 1, that's 2 fingers, Alex. Number 1, Pumpkin Hill from Sonic Adventure 2. In a quick glance around, and we see jack-o'-lanterns. You know what that means. What's more, is we have ghosts. That means ghosts are canonically in the Sonic universe. Let's pour one out to my dead furry homies. Hey look, a train. Where does it lead? A door with skulls on it. That's pretty nice. And if we look above, we'll find a creepy orange skybox and mountains that are shaped like jack-o'-lanterns staring right back at you. Even the trees are watching you. Even I'm watching you. Check your window. Nah, I'm just kidding, silly. Of course I'm not watching you. From your window, at least. Number 2, Halloweentown from Kingdom Hearts 1. Recently, our overlords at Valve finally released the entire collection of Kingdom Hearts. Fans around the world cheered on and simultaneously flipped off Epic Game Store. I was one of those fans. Now, I own all of them, except for 3, because my wallet looks like this. I do have a Starbucks gift card, though. If only there was something a stranger like you could do to help me in that predicament. If only. Hey, I know what to do. Damn, bro, have you been working now? Show me those glutes. Yeah, take a look. Sorry, where was I? Oh yeah, Halloweentown from Kingdom Hearts 1. Here's a no-brainer to add. As an emo at heart and a loser in real life, I just loved walking around the world in Nightmare Before Christmas. One of my favorite things about this franchise is the fact that enemies and characters sometimes change to match the theme of each world. For instance, this world gave Sora, Donald, and Goofy a fresh new coat of paint, and a spooky one at that. Sora was given the Ryuk treatment by giving him dark angel wings and a drapey emo outfit, along with a pumpkin mask. Well, I guess in this case, it's more like a little hairpin. Oh, also you're a vampire. And look at those high knee socks. We didn't know it yet, but Sora inspired every single indie band member out there. Now Donald, on the other hand, was given a simple, yet classic look, turning him into a mummified version of himself, complete with a missing stomach. Hey Drake, I think I know where your Ozempic went to. Then there's Goofy, who was given a Frankenstein's monster-inspired look. With a little bolt on his head, little cute pumpkin on his nose, and a scarecrow-like outfit. Dude is also showing off his toes. Don't ask me how I know this, but he has an OnlyFans. These characters weren't the only ones to get a makeover. The enemies of this level, they did as well. This map also wouldn't be complete without our favorite white guy. Let's give it up for Jack the Pumpkin King! I love you. Who can join your party to beat the shit out of the Heartless. What a guy. Why are we doing this, you may be asking? Well, Jack and Dr. Finkelstein are trying to solve the Heartless problem by giving them a heart. That's some pretty good logic there. The math adds up, man. They quantified that shit. During this level, you're tasked to find Sally.
Damn, girl, you a microwave, cause
in order to find items that make up a heart, such as flowers called Forget-Me-Not that symbolize Sally's memories, and a jack-in-the-box that represents the emotion of feeling surprised. But then, you get tormented by these little shits. But no worries, you get to beat the shit out of children in this game, a mechanic that Skyrim should have learned from.
Position.
I mean, if Disney could allow this, then why the hell can't you? Now let's get into Oogie Boogie boss fight. There's Oogie Boogie. Here's the Keyblade. Here's Sora beating the shit out of Oogie Boogie with the Keyblade. End of boss fight. But wait, there's more. Oogie Boogie becomes a giant f***ing tree. Okay, this looks super cool, but I have the striking feeling that this is someone's fetish out there. It might even be yours.
How did he know?
Anyways, you climb and smack these weird orb things while fending off the Heartless. Once all have been destroyed, the dude combusts. And after that, return to Dr. Finkelstein, and lo and behold, the Heartless can't be cured by giving them a heart. And I would know, because I tried this with my ex once. Women, am I right?
I felt good spiritually.
Number 3. Here's a more modern game for you, Marvel's Spider-Man. The level in question is called Back to School, and it's the 27th main mission of the game. Peter is tasked in finding some random dude by the name of Dr. Isaac Delaney. Walking around, you'll see some fun costumes, and people dressed as villains. In this world, they're real. Those villains are real. That's like the equivalent to us dressing up as terrorists. I may have stole that from a comment I read about this game. We also have people dressed as Spider-Man, but the best Spider-Man out there is Frat Bro Spider-Man. Spider Bro, drinks a keg until it's low. Look out, he's doing a blinky checkpoint. Then you find Mysterio, who rips ass in front of you. You have to chase him into a hall of mirrors. They pull out the fake gat. You show off a little bit, and then you web off their helmet. Somehow, this does not trigger any red flags. They even respond with this.
Hey, what's wrong with you? I worked on that helmet for a week. Who are you?
I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Smart ass.
Apparently, I guess everyone knows a poser can just do shit like this and then shoot webs like it's nothing. Later in the mission, we find Dr. Delaney, who of course, is dressed as a lizard. But before we can talk to him, we get into a fight with a possibly intoxicated guy dressed as Rhino, and we web his ass up. But oh no, Delaney is then taken away by some evil guys. The rest of the level is just you beating up random goons, and there is this cool little segment where you get to climb on a wall full of decorations. Short-lived, but cool. Then story stuff happens, but for the sake of this video, I'm not gonna spoil that stuff, so we're gonna just gonna skirt along. But all you need to know is the bad guys disrupt the party, they end up corrupting the crowd, and of course, the possibly intoxicated Rhino. Also, this final blow on the Rhino guy definitely put him in the hospital. Who am I kidding? If he acts like this at a party, then someone else would have put him there anyways. Number 4, here's a game you probably never heard of. Puppeteer, a PlayStation exclusive, uniquely styled side-scroller. I honestly never heard of this game until I started making this video, but hopefully like you, I'm intrigued. We start off in Act 5 of the game, aptly titled, Fear of the Dark.
I don't like when it gets dark though, not gonna lie. Not a fan.
Every act of the game is split off into 3 chapters, and these chapters are called Curtains 1, 2, and 3. This is because the events of the games are laid out as if it's a stage and you're watching a play. Off the bat, we got jack-o'-lanterns. And even cute candle ones at that.
Shut the fuck up, no one cares.
Every level is riddled with Halloween items. You know, witch hats, candies, lots of candy, ghosts, spiderwebs, spooky trees, and something I have in my closet. Skulls. Don't ask any further questions. Speaking of skulls, the main character can get outfits throughout the game, including a skull mask, a pumpkin mask, a candy mask, and a mask I have yet to reveal. These masks have 2 purposes. They either keep the character alive for the sake of the story, because you lost your real head.
You're going to drop dead if you go without a head. And I'll be the one stuck with cleanup. Come on, let's find something else you can use.
Or they have certain functions depending on the mask. The first boss fight doesn't really tie into Halloween. You just fight Godric's crack addict cousin, a giant mechanical dog. It may not tie into the theme, but at least the environment does. After beating the hell out of it, we get to finally go into Curtain 2. Well, I guess in this case, roll into it. During this section, we find a giant jack-o'-lantern boss man. First, you enter a haunted-looking town where you have to jump your way to the top, avoiding obstacles such as bats, guillotines, spiked jack-o'-lanterns, stuff like that. All while the floor is rising with... Is that cum? Oh, and you get eaten. But, don't worry, here's a cool segment where you're inside its, mouth thing. Dude is filled with cum and candy. Just like Mike on a Friday night. Survive long enough and the jack-o'-lantern would trap you inside, where you now have to rely on silhouettes of you and the environment. I do love the use of the jack-o'-lantern's design here to switch up the gameplay. Your goal during this is to cut all the dude's cavities, and then his head combusts. If you want your head to combust in a similar fashion, then I recommend you talk to Mike on a Friday night. The third and final curtain starts off strong by having you wait outside of a gate that leads into a graveyard. I also love the detail of the fog surrounding the stage and having the ghosts set up the next scene. That's a nice touch. In the graveyard, we encounter some silly skeletons, werewolves, vampires, mummies, zombies, and whatever the hell that thing is. During this level, you go 6 feet under prematurely, but unlike the dead, you can actually come back out to defeat enemies. Actually, in this case, the dead can do that too. You then defeat this goofy ass skeleton boss to proceed to the next level where you traverse over undead hands who are partying their asses off. Oh, and Dracula's just there complaining about life and shit.
No one ever wanders by except puppets and freaks and monsters. Would it kill destiny to toss me just one swimsuit model?
Honestly, God, same. We then find our way to a swarm of bats who become the Grim Reaper. It ain't Halloween without a hint of death in the air. To defeat him, you must homelander him first, and then proceed to cut his robe, just to...
Set those children free!
Your guess is as good as mine. I assume these are souls you're freeing? That's really dark, and I love it. After he's defeated, you get this sick-ass Reaper head, and then you continue forth and climb a creepy tower where you get a robot mask. Let's fucking go! And just like a lesbian, we scissor our way out of this mess, and we encounter a giant robot monkey. We once again scissor our way to victory, then a monkey drinks his ass off and jumps out of a window, just like Mike on a Friday night. And that concludes Act 5 of Puppeteer.
Number 5.
Here's the certified classic, Bully.
Now you've got something to discuss with your therapist.
And during Chapter 1, you'll reach the 11th mission, simply titled Halloween. The start of the mission has you go into your closet to acquire your costume, which is the iconic skeleton outfit from Karate Kid.
Now you've got something to discuss with your therapist.
And of course, your roommate Gary is dressed as a Nazi. This is a Rockstar game, to be fair.
You fucking shit! Cut!
This mission is on the short side of things, and it has you walking around the school, pulling pranks.
You just got pranked, bro. You. Pranked!
Like, putting a kick me sign on someone's back. Egging 3 students, which one may or may not lead to some Fight Club-esque shenanigans. Then you light up some fireworks, known as Volcano 4000, and sit back as you explode the shit out of some random kids. And for your final prank, you pull a Dean Winchester, and utilize the classic timeless prank of itching powder. This mission usually goes by really quickly if you know where to go. But if you like, you could do some exploring around the map to see how the school is decorated and all the outfits the students are wearing. And that wraps up this entry. Number 6. Here's a game loved by many, but played by few. Night in the Woods. As you can see from the gameplay, it is the wonderful season of fall. Our main character, Margaret Borowski, heads into her room to put on something spooky. I don't think that's spooky, but good enough. You are now Witch Dagger. If you look in the background of May's room, you can see a poster of the same outfit, which is apparently a poster for a doom metal band. We then head outside, and if you pull out your notebook, you're given the title of this level, Halloween Harfest. Which Harfest is apparently a play you're performing in, which has been rewritten like 20 times now to be less about history and 80% more spookier. I'm now going to tell you the story of Harfest, which is basically the story of the town you're in called Possum Springs and how it came to be. Let's just jump into it. The year was 1793. 2 brothers named John and Stephen came across a deep hollow in a great dead tree. And for some reason, they carry 300 beaver pelts, which in Red Dead 2 will sell for like $750 if they're in perfect quality, or around $5,400 if they're legendary quality. What does it have to do with this level? Nothing. So let's keep going. So after the brothers arrive, a needy woman asks for any spare crumbs, bread, and like any gentleman with class, they call her a haggard witch. So she curses thee, saying this very night, the witch has been here for quite some time, born during the harvest moon, the same moon where these 2 brothers are set to die. Stephen is frightened, while John is just chilling. But soon, John will be chilling a little too hard, because it turns out that motherfucker's dead. Also, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but he is here now, and the witch proclaims that any man who drinks from that spring shall perish. And then we lose Steven. Soon after that, this guy dies too. We now enter the last act of the play, where the two brothers are now ghosts, where they then stare at all the dead 300 beavers. Which is low-key hilarious, because the amount of cows and chickens I would see in my afterlife, due to how many times I have carne asada, how many times I've ordered KFC, oh lord. The witch then has a casual conversation with the god of the forest, who then banishes the witch to the afterlife to be presumably haunted by the brothers, and whoever she cursed to death. And now, the town holds a festival on Halloween to celebrate the dying year and the founding of Possum Springs. The end. How was that? Did that do good? Was my accent on point? Probably not. You probably hated this part of the video, but here you are. As a side note, the beaver population has suffered a decline. If everyone in this world is animals, does that mean the brothers literally murdered the shit out of people? 300 people. Then the narrator of the play warns the audience to be careful as you leave here, for who knows what may lurk in the darkness. After the play, you ask them if you want to hang out, and you're rejected by both of your homies. One has a date, and the other has a business buffet to attend to. Then the camera pans over to the left, where a random silhouette of someone getting fucking murdered happens. The art style had me fooled. I thought this was a wholesome game. No one but you seems to notice, so you chase after them. You then catch up, and an officer tells you to go home. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what our taxes are going to. The officer then takes you home, and then you enter a limbo-like state where all you can see is a world of red and shadows, which is accompanied by creepy-ass music. May then stops in her tracks, and you are unable to move further. You stare as the screen slowly turns black, and the level ends. Want to find out more? Go support the developers and play the game for yourself. From what I've heard, it's an amazing game that focuses on story, dialogue. There's also some puzzles, and I guess a little bit of platform. That advice also applies to me since I actually bought the game while making this video. Thankfully, it was like $10 in Steam due to a sale. Thank you, overlords over at Steam. Appreciate you.
Gay Ben.
Now, since Halloween is literally right around the corner for me, it is October 23rd. I still have to edit this, and my goal is to upload it on Halloween. I'm probably not gonna do that, let's be real. But if I did, it's a miracle.